Hi, everybody. I'm Allison Freiberg. I'm the Associate Director of International Programs, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about our Consultancy Capstone option that's available in most of our programs in the School of Business and Society. I'll give you an overview, and I should hit on most of the frequently asked questions, and we're going to focus on the global and domestic consultancies for winter 2023. First of all, the Business Consultancy Capstone program is a program that matches teams of students, both undergraduate and graduate students, with projects submitted by clients either abroad or here in Southern California. It gives you a live consultancy team-based project to do for a company that has a project, either a problem or a possibility, some sort of project that our student consultancy teams can work on and generate a report, a proper consultancy report that will help the client. Let's talk a little bit more about what's involved. This is available in both the undergraduate and graduate levels. If you're at the undergraduate level, it's going to be INTB 495 or BUAD 495. One's for the INTB is for the global option, and the BUAD one is for the domestic option, the consultancies here in Southern California, and the 695 numbers are just for the graduate options. We do mix undergraduate and graduate students, and we look forward to having that kind of collaboration. It's a way to complete your academic program. There is an application process, and there are pre-engagement class sessions that will happen in January, and we'll work it out for everyone's schedule. Usually 3 sessions, and they are mostly virtual, so it won't matter where you are. And it all culminates in a 1-week on-location engagement with an organization abroad, that's the global, or in Southern California. And after the actual engagement, your team will work together to finalize a consultancy report for the client that we actually give to the client and get feedback on. Some recent assignments for the global, we've been to Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Portugal, Switzerland, the UK. And locally in Southern California, there have been projects with companies in Redlands, San Diego, Palm Springs, Los Angeles, Carlsbad, Riverside, and a handful of other places. All the pictures here, by the way, that you're going to see are of past consultancy teams. So you can get a feel for what it looks like. Now, what course does the consultancy replace? If you are in the MBA, it will replace the BUAD 696 Strategy Capstone. If you are in the MSOL, and we're still working on final approval for this, so right now it is awaiting final approval, you can do a consultancy in place of the Management 636 Leadership Communication course. And if you are in the bachelor's program, you can replace BUSB 485, the capstone, with this consultancy. Okay. At this time, we do not have an option for the MS in business analytics to have a consultancy, but we're trying to work on that. What are the course requirements? Okay, in the pre-travel phase, as I said, we have 3 pre-departure classes, virtual, where we teach you how to do all the consulting. We work on presentation skills. We work on how to run a discovery meeting. We work on team building. We work on doing inventories of all our business skills across functional areas. And we figure out we're going to fill those toolboxes of everything you're going to use for the consultancy. So we do that before the actual engagement. And then during the travel phase, that is 1 week on site with a foreign or domestic client, depending on whether you choose to do the domestic or the global. And that will conclude with a team presentation on the Friday. Usually we start the engagement week on a Monday. You have a meeting with a client. You have that discovery meeting where you get all the information, and you will contact and work a little bit with the client during the week, but then on Friday, you deliver a presentation of your preliminary findings to that client. And then in the post-travel phase, that's when you come back, that's when the team works on building that final report. And that is a full-on fit-for-purpose written report that can be delivered to the client that will address fully the project that was worked on during that engagement week. And here's some testimony from some of the students who have done the consultancies. This is Stephanie Ernst. She's an MBA student. I think she also did a consultancy at the undergraduate level. On this last one, she was in Italy working on a consultancy project, and you can read what she says about that, how she felt she really pushed herself and came together with the team and really cherished the whole process. One thing you'll note is afterwards, that's her husband on the other side, he joined us after the consultancy and they went off and explored Rome a little bit. So we do have that option that if you want, someone can join you afterwards or before, and if you're in the global consultancy, you're abroad, and so you may as well enjoy the area. What are the consultancy's objectives? Number one, you're going to put theory into practice. You're doing a real consultancy for a real client who has a real problem or a real possibility that they want to figure out. So all that stuff you learned in your programs, you get to work with and apply in a live situation. We want you to master team-based projects. You're going to be working, it's challenging. I'm not going to lie. It is a challenging experience, but it is one that is so rewarding because you really work on team building. You really work on finding out each other's strengths and on helping each other thrive. And this opportunity is absolutely crucial to building team skills. You're also going to enhance your key business skills. All those skills that you learned in your program, all the business knowledge, all the techniques, all the concepts, you get to apply them. We want you to enhance your business skills. What are the costs? Now, with the domestic consultancy, of course, tuition is separate. You'd pay tuition if you were taking your regular capstone. You'll obviously pay tuition if you're taking this in place of your regular capstone. Now, in addition, there are going to be travel costs. If you are on the domestic consultancy, we still ask, let's say your domestic consultancy is in Oceanside. We do ask that for that engagement week, you and your team find accommodations in Oceanside near the client, so you're working together in one location and having a true consultancy experience. So you will have to take that week off work and work together in that same location. Usually teams get a big Airbnb, and that way they have a kitchen and can share the costs of food, and you don't have to go out to restaurants all the time and things like that. So that cost will be determined by the team. And again, this is a real consultancy. You as a consultancy team are going to determine how much this is going to cost you. If you want to go out to dinner every night, well, it's going to cost you a little more than making dinner at the Airbnb. But that's up to the team to decide. Okay. You'll also decide on your accommodations, and that's for the domestic consultancy. And that's also obviously for the global consultancy. Again, you can stay in hotels or Airbnbs or VRBOs, any kind of accommodation, but you work on as a team to decide what's best for the team. Now, with the global consultancy, there is, in addition, two things. One, obviously, you have to arrange your flights. Now, you don't have to fly together. That's not required. Everyone can get there at different times. But we do ask that you arrive no later, obviously, than the Sunday before the Monday engagement week starts. So, and a lot of people come maybe on Saturday to give themselves a day to just get used to the time change and settle in a little bit. And so you arrange your flights that way on your own. And the other extra here is that there's a $500 administration fee for the international arrangements. But we have in the past couple of years been able to actually provide leadership grants that offset the costs of that $500 administration fee. And we're going to try very hard to do that again. Safety. Safety is always at the forefront. And I'll tell you, last year, the first trip we ever did was February, since COVID, was in February of 2022. And it was challenging. We had to test before we went. We had to test after we arrived. We had to test before we left. We had to wear masks inside and out the whole time, but the team really banded together and they were all in, and we were very safe, and we follow all the rules that are dictated and designed by the university, and also in the location that the global, in this case, consultancy is holding. So obviously we follow all the rules. We're very attentive to all sorts of safety risks, not just the ones of brought to us by COVID. So there you go. You see some more pictures of teams working. And this is a student, Jeremy Cruz, an MBA student, who did a global consultancy in Iceland. And he really worked on the environmental impact. It was a marketing project for a company that wanted to build wanted to create silica-based makeup products. And he really learned about supply chains and environmental impact and all the strategy that's involved in trying to build that kind of project. He had a great experience, and everyone on the team really enjoyed going to Iceland. Now, it's not only you as students that are going to be impacted by doing a consultancy. Our clients have been so appreciative of the projects we've done for them. And this is, for example, Andrea Garwood of DV SRL, which is a wine exporting company in Italy. And this was a project we did right before COVID in February 2020 that for her company. And she said it was a fantastic experience, one that impacted the way I do business around the world. And we get lots and lots of comments like that. So know that your work impacts the work of others. How do I become a student delegate? We call you student delegates because you really are representing the university. There are application materials. You do a cover letter. In your cover letter, really talk about the strengths that you are bringing to this project and talk about why you want to do this. What do you want to get out of this? What are you going to bring to the project? What do you want to get out of it? What is so meaningful for you? And you can find those materials at redlands.edu/consultancy. And you can send the global applications to me, Allison_Freyberg at redlands.edu. And you can send the domestic applications to Professor Michael McQueen, and he's the Director of International Programs. And we usually switch off one term. I'll do the domestic and he'll do the international, and then we flip-flop. Also, please CC Chris Me, that's Chris_me at redlands.edu on your application. She is the administrative expert on this, and she's your point person. Okay, once we get your materials, you prepare for an interview, because we will interview everybody who applies. It's just a phone interview, ask you a few questions, talk to you about your experience, talk to you about your goals, all that sort of stuff. Okay. And again, the global consultancy, there's a QR code you can scan, and that'll take you right to the page where you can find registration materials. And we are accepting applications for the January-February 2023 global consultancy, which will be held in Trieste, Italy. It's in the northeastern part of Italy. And we're very excited about that. We're just finalizing the arrangements with the client. And then for the domestic consultancy, applications are now being accepted. You're going to send them to Professor McQueen, and CC Chris Me, the globals you'll send to me. There's the QR code to take you to everything you need. And what can you expect? We have a few things. Now, recently, there was a whole Bulldog blog about the consultancy. And if you click on this link, now this is a slide. These slides I can provide to you. Just email me, find me. I'm very easy to find. And I'll send you these slides, which have live links in them. Okay. You can also, the February 2022 consultancy team that was in Italy did a story map of their experiences. So you can read about all that. And then there was, this was the 2020 consultancy. It's just a little video that follows the students during the week. It's a 2-minute video, and you can see what people experienced. You can find everything at redlands.edu/consultancy. If you need more information or you just want to talk to us, we can just talk to you about what's involved. You can please call Dr. Michael McQueen or email him about domestic consultancies for this term, and go ahead and email me or call me about the global consultancy option. Okay, you can also contact Christine Mee, who's the International Programs Specialist. This, by the way, was the consultancy team from it was an Ireland consultancy team, and they wanted to go to the beach one day. So they did, I think, the equivalent of their album cover here. Okay, to take the next step, again, redlands.edu/consultancy. First thing you need to do is contact your student success advisor, and they will determine if you're eligible to apply for the consultancy. In order to take this winter consultancy, your consultancy in the program that you're currently in has to appear within 2 courses of that January-February term. Your student success advisor will confirm that. And we actually need a confirmation from your advisor saying that you're eligible. That's part of the application process. Then go ahead and apply. Send us your interest letter, send us your resume, send us a writing sample, and send us a letter of recommendation, someone who can really speak to your work, either your academic work or your professional work. And prepare for your interview. Either Dr. McQueen or I will contact you shortly after the deadline. The deadline is November 13th, 2022, and we will be contacting you very shortly thereafter to arrange for a phone interview, and we'll be putting together the teams as soon as those phone interviews are concluded. So again, there's that QR code. I hope you will consider joining us on the consultancy. If you have any questions, please just contact one of us and we're happy to talk to you. Thanks so much.